And we're live.
Hello, everybody. I hope the audio is working because I just realized I forgot to set something up right. Anyway, I think we're going to be okay.
I think so. The little lines were showing up, so I think they can hear us. If we can get a little thumbs up, that would be awesome. Oh, good. Lee's here. Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Good, good.
Happy Sunday in the studio.
Yeah, happy Sunday
Oh,
for
I
sure.
don't
Sorry,
have a
I
chair.
stole it.
That's
I
fine.
stole it.
Totally good.
We're really glad that you're here, so thank you for showing up. It is Sunday again. It's already February, which, you know, we're all saying I can't believe it. But it's also Groundhog Day, so hopefully we just are going to do this once.
Hey, Teresa, it's Groundhog Day.
It's Groundhog Day.
Is it Groundhog Day?
It's Groundhog Day.
All right.
And supposedly we get 6 more weeks of winter, but like I was telling Hawk this morning, I was reading that the groundhog is actually wrong like 70% of the time. So in truth, it's more likely that we have an early spring, which would be great. So I'm looking forward to that. It is sunnier, nicer here. So we've been going through a real bout of cold in the morning. We had some pipes break a little bit.
The sprinkler system really wasn't designed to ever be drained here because it really wasn't expecting to be below freezing for more than 2 weeks at a time. So anyway, we're dealing with that.
Yeah, it's been really cold in the morning.
At night, for sure.
Yeah, so it's nicer now. We're getting some sunshine, and supposedly this week it'll get, you know, above 50s, which I'm looking forward to. So it has been, cold. So no snow because we're in very, very southern Utah. Lots of people think we get lots of snow, and we don't because we're right next to Arizona, literally.
There's a mountain that we can see basically from the house that does get snow on it, but most of the time, actually, we haven't even had rain in about 3 months, so
no snow either.
Anyway, everything's a little.
True.
A little panicked right now about no water.
Yeah, exactly. But we did get to see when your mom came to visit. We actually went up to an area you may have heard of called Brian's Head, and we got to see some snow up there. So we have gotten to see it, which was nice. So it's kind of the best of both worlds in that we don't actually get the snow here, but it was like an hour and a half to go see snow, which was kind of fun. So I'm very happy about that. Anyway, I hope things are going well where you are and the weather is treating you nicely. There's not too much chaos in the weather world this week. A couple weeks ago it was intense, so I'm glad it's a little better now. Anyway,
good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Becky. See you guys.
Good. So thanks for being here. We have a bunch of things we want to talk about today. It's just kind of a little catch up. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes, and we've got a lot that we are prepping for. So that's been kind of exactly what we intended January to be. That is our month to get ready for things. The end of February, things start happening. So do we want to talk about what's coming up, or do we want to talk about some other stuff first?
I think we could probably just talk about what's the big idea.
What's the big idea? So we have a bunch coming up, and I'm really excited about it. So like I said, January has been like catching up. Oh, I will talk about the pattern first. So the one thing that we've been trying to do is kind of update the Crinkle Dreams pattern. So a couple of them are older patterns that I released like 10 years ago. I think about 10 years ago. I think 2015 is when I put them out. And they've just kind of sat there on, I had them on Etsy for a long time, and I didn't really do anything with them. And now that we actually have a small pattern company, and my daughter she's here doing the stuff behind the scenes, but she's also the illustrator for all of the patterns. And
Sandra, you're awesome. Thanks for reminding us that we should always say that. If you're watching us on YouTube, by all means, please subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon, like the video, do all that good stuff, share it with your friends.
All of that. Thank you. So anyway, so Audrey has been helping out with the pattern illustrations inside. So we've been able to update a bunch of the patterns. We're working on another one now, but we just recently got, just like 2 days ago, we got new copies of the Mirth quilt pattern. So this one is available online now. It's up on Crinkle Dreams. I don't think we have it on Etsy, right?
I don't think we put it on Etsy.
So you can just find it on crinkledreams.com. And it is brand new and is a paper piecing pattern with lots of big, nice, easy to understand pictures. And then it comes with a little drawing, a coloring sheet basically, and your templates. So this is a super easy paper piecing pattern.
It existed before,
right?
But this is a bit, but this is a big update, including the size. Right.
The size changed a little bit.
So it went from 27 inches to.
No, it went to 27 inches. So for some reason, when I designed this thing originally, it ended up at, I think, 21.5 inches square, which is just a very weird shape or weird size and didn't make much sense. But I did it 10 years ago before I knew as much as I do now. So I updated it so that it ends up at a 27-inch square. So it's a nice little wall quilt. You can absolutely just make a million more of them and make it whatever size you would like to. It's one of those, but it's a great pattern for learning how to paper piece. And that was why we did it. And I had help from Hawke, who tested out the pattern to see where we needed more instruction because he had never paper pieced before.
My first paper piecing adventure, and I'm like, okay, I don't get it. What's next? This doesn't make any sense. You want me to sew where? How? What?
Where do I put the fabric? What
did I just cut that off? And oh man.
Yeah, but you did really well, and it was very helpful to have a beginner's viewpoint on the whole thing. So the pattern is really written. If you already know how to do paper piecing and you're comfortable with it, it's going to be super easy, and you can make your own alterations to it. If you are brand new to paper piecing, this is going to be one that's really super simple to be able to walk you through every step. Because what I found looking through a bunch of patterns is that there's a lot of like, piece it together. It's kind of like that quilt and bind as desired. That there's a lot of, you probably know how to do paper piecing, so just do it. And this one I actually went through and walked you through every step of it. So hopefully it's really helpful for you if you're new to paper piecing. It is the pattern of the month over on the Dream Team community. So for those of you who are members, you can find that in the foundation paper piecing section. And you can grab your free pattern. If you're not a member of the Dream Team, you can join us there, or you can buy the pattern at crinkledreams.com. The other thing I was going to talk about is, because this week we are also talking, so not only is it the free pattern for the Dream Team, it is also the topic of conversation for this week's Make. So on Wednesday, we have our second episode of Make, which I'm really excited about, and we're going to be talking about foundation paper piecing. So this one was super simple, but the one that I'm doing,
I'm gonna get big saucer plate eyes right now because the paper piecing that she's doing in preparation for the show is a lot.
It's a little more, let's just say. So this was I have this out because this is one that I did a couple months ago now, I think, that we did this one with the woven star, and we did the little quilt that I made for the By Any Sew Along or something like that.
Yes.
So I did a little
in conjunction with Fat Quarter Shop.
Yes. And so they this is from them. It's one of their paper piecing things. We'll talk more about these on Wednesday. But I had made this, and this was slightly complicated, but just a step above the Mirth pattern. And then I decided I would do this one because it's the year of the snake. And so I found one that I really wanted to do from Tamara Kate Designs.
Oh, that's right. It was Tet a couple of days ago,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Happy New Year.
Asian New Year.
Yes. So I decided I wanted to do this. Well, turns out it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more complicated. I'll show you this little one so we can kind of see how the pieces are starting to go together. I mean, it's a little bit more.
There's a bunch of little pieces in
but
there.
Then it just becomes even more. And this is only like just one little section of it. So it is, it's pretty astounding.
Do you have the pattern handy to show them what it's going to look like?
No, they can come on Wednesday and see.
Yes.
Okay, he's gonna go find it. He's gonna see it should be underneath that stack right there in those papers. So that's been something I've been working on for a little while. And what I really love about foundation paper piecing is that there's just so many different varieties of what you can do with it. So if you find a designer that you really like, you can take off from there, but understanding the process of it is what we're going to go over on Wednesday. So this is what that will end up being like. So this little part here is actually this part right here.
So one of the other things that you did was that you reduced the size of the finish by half, right?
Yeah.
So you in the PDF, when you printed it out, you printed it out at 50%.
Yeah.
Which means that all those little pieces are even smaller.
Yeah.
So, whatever,
Yeah.
expert in the room, fine.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a cute size now.
Right. Because what am I going to do with it when I'm done? Do you remember? I talked about this the other day. I was like, I had an epiphany.
I do remember.
I had an epiphany and I was like, oh my gosh, I know what I'm going to do with it. So if I can get this to work out, I will have this for the back of a quilt coat that I wear to QuiltCon. So We're going to keep our fingers
Right.
crossed because that will be amazing.
So yes, so like this whole panel basically will end up being the back of the coat as sort of a show piece.
Yeah, which I'm
So
excited
that
about.
sounds awesome.
So the other thing that we'll show you on Wednesday is how to fix a boo-boo. Because one of the pieces in here is the wrong color.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you.
That little pink piece right
See
there.
that guy right there? That's supposed
That's
to be
light blue.
light blue.
Mhm.
Anyway, there we go. Sorry.
Yep. So
The mirrored camera means if I go left, it goes
Yeah.
right.
yeah. So it is wrong. And I will show you on Wednesday how I will fix that by taking out a bunch of stitches.
Because nothing is permanently wrong in her world.
No,
It's an
we'll just
oopsie,
fix it.
and we're gonna unwind it and figure out how to do it without pulling your hair out.
I might
Maybe
have
a
pulled
little,
a couple of
maybe a little.
hairs. Just say. I mean, it's not my favorite thing by any stretch of the imagination. Trying to fix one of these is not my favorite. It is doable, and yeah, I will show you how to do that on Wednesday.
Without starting over. You might
Right.
need Jack the Ripper though.
No.
No,
I need
okay.
I need my Olfa blade. Is what
Oh,
I
okay.
need. So,
Good morning, Linda.
yeah. So
I
I
see you
will
in
be
there.
doing that. So yeah. So Wednesday is the next thing that's coming up, which is the we're going to do foundation paper piecing, and that is at 10 a.m. our time, so 9 a.m. Pacific.
Correct.
On Wednesday morning. So join us for that. That'll be really fun. That'll be live on YouTube. And then obviously, well, maybe not obviously, it will be available later. So all of the videos that we do lives, we always keep them up and watch them. You can watch them later. So including all of the make episodes. So don't worry if you can't make it live. We really love having you here and we love seeing your comments. But if you have to watch it later, say okay. The other pattern that we updated is the elemental coat. So I did 2 updates with this one. So one, we recolored the pattern so we can tell that this is a new one. I added a couple of little things in here. I'm trying to remember. I added the zipper and something else in here,
which were all all available before as supplementals in the course, right?
Correct.
But now that you've sort of incorporated them into the pattern
a little bit better.
You updated the sizing.
And I updated the sizing. So that was, I think, the biggest change that I made. Yeah, there were just some little changes.
Nothing wrong with the sizing on the patterns that you have.
No.
This is just a little more intuitive. You added a smaller size.
I added a smaller size. And that was what I did. Because one of the things that so when I originally made it, I made it for people like me who are not tiny. And then there are tiny people. So I decided I would make it a little bit smaller. So the sizes originally were from A up to E, which is really like a 4-6 is the way that I had it, up to a 2022. And I had some people who were, in the like 4, 6, 8 range who were like, it's kind of big. The A is a little bit big. And so I'd helped a couple of people resize it and make it a little smaller for them. And I thought I might as well just put this in the pattern. So now there is an AA size, which is really more of a 4-6. And so that's just a little bit smaller. And so if you are a smaller person,
don't panic if you have the original pattern. Yeah,
no,
there's nothing that new in this version. But
no,
it's a nice
but if
update.
you have the pattern, you've bought the pattern, and you need a smaller size, shoot me an email and I can get you a version of it, and I would be happy to do that. If you have the original pattern, I can send you an update for it. So if you bought it through me, I can easily prove that you bought the pattern. So I'd be happy to do that if you need a smaller size. Okay, so now let's talk about the other things that are coming, because make is the next thing. That's pretty exciting.
Yep.
We're having a elemental coat workshop that's happening this month.
Starting tomorrow.
Signups end today. So if you want to sign up, you have to sign up by the end of today.
So what that does is that accesses all of the existing online course material, which is all the tutorial videos and the PDFs, and also 4 live sessions with Teresa start on Monday evenings. Starting tomorrow evening.
Yep.
So that's great. And honestly, we sort of kicked that up a little bit over the last few days, and there are maybe a dozen or more people in there. So it's going to be a fun little group.
Yeah. So it's a small little group of people. It's not, we're not working with 60 people trying to make the coat, which is great. I actually like that better because it's a lot more one-on-one. So if you're interested in taking the quilt workshop with me and getting the live sessions, it's on sale, and that is through tonight. And then it starts tomorrow. And tomorrow it's just it's a kind of, I want to say it's an info session, but it's really a how to get started session. So if you don't have all of your stuff available right now and you still want to sign up so you can learn, you can, because the first night we're not cutting out immediately. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. And then you could start cutting out when you get your stuff. So it should be fine. Okay.
What's happening this afternoon, actually? Because this is not the only thing we're doing today. What's Teresa doing this afternoon?
So this afternoon, we are doing our first, so part of the Dream Team community is one of the things we talked about was doing sew-alongs. And I wanted to kind of see how it could work and what we could do. And then we decided we should probably open it up to a larger community. So it's a free-for-all. And we have, I don't know, we have quite a few people signed up for that, but we're just going to talk about making bags for the next month. And
more than 50 people. So that one's going to be a dense class.
It will be.
What's interesting about that is that she's teaching bags, but she's not teaching a specific bag. We're not teaching a buy any bag or a Sally Tomato bag or any other specific brand, though you can obviously come in and work on your own project with your own pattern, and she's just going to help you get through it. Everybody's going to work together. Yeah. And I'm really excited to watch that chaos.
I am too. I pulled out my bag, I went through my drawer of patterns today and pulled out like bag patterns. And I have a significant little stack of bag patterns. So, and that didn't include any of the buy any ones, which are over there. So so I have a stack of bag patterns from a bunch of different designers, and we're going to talk about them and talk about the way that their patterns are written and kind of working through them, because I know they're all a little different. We have Sally Tomato and Paradiso Designs and My Annie and So Sweetness, and there's a bunch of different ones in there. So Noodlehead.
There's a patchwork pouch pattern by Crinkle, I think, right?
That's true. Yeah. There is one of those. It's a little bag pattern. We're going to do a lot of bigger bags that are more complicated. So anyway, so that's happening this week. So yes, we are stupid busy right now, but we wanted to get all of this stuff done before we hit the road, because we are here for January and February, and then we kind of hit the road. And so the end of February, we are going to QuiltCon, and I'm really excited about that. We will be there. We're going to have a meetup on the 20th.
That's in Phoenix, Arizona. So just a couple of hours south of us. We get to go around the Grand Canyon, which is always my favorite. From here, we get to pick break left or break right.
Right. Because either way,
like, want to come around.
Straight would be right if we could drive across the canyon.
Somebody put this ditch in the way. I don't understand. Anyway.
Yeah. So we'll go.
I suspect we're going to do 89 and come down through Sedona, which is some of our favorite. So
by Page.
Maybe we get to see our friend Rena over at the Rustic Horseshoe.
I just realized we might get to see Horseshoe Bend.
Oh, we could potentially see Horseshoe Bend finally.
That would be amazing. I talked about
fix that.
Yeah, a long time ago on one of the Sunday in the Studios, we shared my my quilt that's called Missing Horseshoe Bend. It's a whole big story, but I would really love to actually
fix that problem.
Bend. So we might have to do that
instead of just the parking lot.
Anyway, yes, exactly. So anyway, so we are heading down to QuiltCon. That's at the end of February, like you said. That's in Phoenix, Arizona, and then we'll be down there. I'm going to do a stripology training, which I'm really excited about. So we did a little stripology session a couple weeks ago in the Dream Team community, and I am very much looking forward to learning those rulers a bit more and understanding how they work. With a lot of things that I have realized over the last few years is that actually getting training, taking lessons, doing classes, all of that is so super helpful because somebody knows how to do it. I don't have to figure it out on my own. So that is one of the things that I like about being able to teach, is that you don't have to figure this out on your own. You don't have to try all the things and figure out which one works. I've tried a bunch of it. I'll let you know. The same thing's I'm going to do with the stripology training is I get to go and hear from them. Like, how does this actually work? Great. Now I know, and I don't have to try to just figure it out and muddle my way through. So end of February, I'll be trained, and that's super exciting because then I'll get to teach some of that too. So I'm looking forward to that. So QuiltCon, then I'll be doing the training. And then from there, we're going to drive out to, do you remember?
Casey Maker.
Casey Maker. So we're going to
Welcome back, Kansas City.
That's right. So we are very much looking forward to going back to Kansas City again. We're going to be at Casey Maker on March 1st and 2nd. So the quilt coat class is on the 1st, and I know that one is close to sold out. I think there's a couple of spaces left, and then we have room in the class the next day, which is the cats in pajama pillow. So I wanted to show you that. It's an Elizabeth Hartman pattern.
This pillow is super cute.
Ta-da. It's so cute.
Boop.
It's adorable. So you can see it's a pretty good sized pillow.
Here.
Gotcha. And it's actually from a quilt pattern. So Elizabeth Hartman does a bunch of different patterns. I pulled some out. I don't know what I did with them now.
I'm gonna talk about how while this patchwork is super cute, I'm gonna talk about the way you finish this. For start, okay, so the pattern does this, right? So it's just got a pillow form in it. It's got a nice
like
little overlap envelope that guy, and then she bound this like it's a quilt. And I don't know why I'd never really seen that done on a pillow quite this.
Because I haven't done it like that.
Yeah, and I think it's adorable.
It was really cute. And the reason I did it, so it doesn't call for that in the pattern. The reason I did that is because I didn't have enough of any of the front fabrics to make a back fabric. And what I would have wanted was this blue fabric to be on the back so that you could just see blue across the top. But I didn't have any of that fabric. I'd used it all because I just had like a little half yard hunk of it. So I chose another fabric that kind of matched with the bright Anna Maria Horner fabrics on the front, so it has this gold color in there.
I feel like it's reversible.
It's almost reversible.
I mean, in some ways, you know, like sometimes you don't need all the cat, so you just tuck it.
Well, especially if I'd done a zipper on it, it would totally be reversible. So anyway, so that's why I did the binding, because then I could pick another color and it wouldn't be like a weird edge up here with the orange or the gold running into the blue. That this binding really made it kind of, I don't know, sing. I really do like it. So that was a fun finish.
Whimsical yet modern pillow.
Yes. So I'm going to have you hold it for just a second still, if you don't mind. So these are Elizabeth Hartman patterns. This is what I'm teaching on that March 2nd at Casey Maker. And her patterns, now I have a little that needs to be cut. So her patterns require lots of little pieces. And that's one of the things that people are like, oh, I can't do that. I promise you can. So a lot of times people want to paper piece these, but there's really no need to. You just need to know a few things about her patterns and how they work to be able to make them really good. So the Stripology ruler is going to come in really handy with this because precision cuts are important. I'm looking forward to that. But also there's some tips on just precision piecing that we'll talk about. She has a bunch of patterns that all are put together the same way. That it's just they're just cut and sewn together. So it really
that's a cat butt. I love this left right thing. I wanted to show them how amazing your piecing is on this.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, look at that.
Boop. And they really aren't as hard as you might think they are. So if you have been enamored by Elizabeth Hartman patterns, but have been a little intimidated by them, I recommend that you sign up for the class. It's going to be really fun and we're going to learn a lot. So that one will be at Casey Maker.
Rose, you're going to be there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And she just picked up her pattern.
I'm super excited. So yeah, so this, you'll see this in the shop soon, Rose. Because this is getting sent off to Patty. And also my Forest Friends quilt that I did that's also an Elizabeth Hartman pattern. So you kind of be able to see that one as well. So if you have other Elizabeth Hartman patterns and you want to come to the class, we'll talk about those. We'll make the cat in pajamas. But once you understand how her patterns go together, it works really, really well. So I am very excited about that class. One of the very first classes that I ever taught was the Elizabeth Hartman Fancy Forest quilt. So it really feels very circular.
Where were you working at that point?
I was at Fabric Depot up in Portland, and I co-taught it with my friend Paula Chipman, and she helped me. The two of us worked together really well because we kind of both teach a little bit differently, but we sew very similarly. We had a great time with that class. It was really fun, but we did it in 3 segments, and we ended up doing it like a block of the month sort of thing where you had to come like week after week and we would make different parts of this big quilt. And I can't remember how many weeks we did, like 10 weeks or something like that you signed up for. But we had 50 people in each session. It was crazy. There were so many people, and I was like, this is my introduction to sewing. I love this. So
introduction to teaching. Sewing, right?
Yeah. Introduction to teaching. And it was awesome. I had such a great time.
Where it all began, and we're back.
I'm really happy to circle back around. So anyway, so we'll be Casey Maker again, March 1st and 2nd. And then we'll be going over to Missouri Star Quilt Co. in Hamilton, which is just north of there, like an hour or so. And I'm going to be teaching at a retreat that they're having. So the retreat is March 4th through 7th at the Missouri Star Quilt Co. And I will be teaching there on the 5th and 6th. So the 4th and 7th are short days. We're going to do the coat on the 5th and 6th. So I know that there's space in that one available too. So if you want to take more time to learn how to do it, or you would like the idea of doing a retreat and staying up there,
they have a really cute
do it.
retreat center. Obviously, it's Quilt Town, USA. There's a lot to do and a lot to see, a lot to buy. I mean, the whole town is just a string of fabric shops.
Yes.
So
yes,
no,
exactly.
it's
And
fun.
we'll be staying up there. So it'll be really fun. It'll be a great little adventure. So looking forward to that. Then after that, we're going to drive to, because we're going to drive this whole thing. So then after that, we're going to drive to Madison, Wisconsin area, up to So Hungry Hippie, which is going to be March 7th and 8th, 8th and 9th. 8th and 9th, we're going to be at So Hungry Hippie, and that's in Stoughton, I think is how you pronounce it, just outside of Madison, so just southeast of Madison. So if you're in that area, you can come to that. And that one is done as a retreat as well, 2 days of sewing, and we'll be hanging out and making stuff. It's going to be great. So I'm really excited about that one too. So Hungry Hippie was with us at Quilt Festival, and she sold our patterns. Natalie.
Yes.
She does great lives too. So if you ever catch her, if you don't follow So Hungry Hippie, she's mostly a bag person too. But we're doing the class there, so she does vinyl and all that sort of stuff. We bought
Vinyls, they're kind of
their
their
jam.
thing, right? They have
Yeah.
really amazing online vinyl selection, stuff that
Yeah.
feels like suede, stuff
Yeah.
that is clear.
We'll
like
talk about
all
it
kinds of
tonight
stuff.
in the bag
Yeah?
class.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah, we'll be there at So Hungry Hippie. And that's, like I said, that's a 2-day event. It's a retreat style thing where you'll be at a hotel, and then we'll do classes all day, and you'll leave with a finished quilt coat. And I think it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about that one too. And it's been a while since we've been up to that area of the country.
It has been.
It's been a while, so a couple of years at least. So I'm excited about doing that. Okay, so then after that, we have, what was next? Audrey, can you throw it up? There we go. The Original Sewing and Quilting Expo, and that is the beginning of April. So we'll come back home after Wisconsin. Yeah, Wisconsin. Sorry, I have to say Madison, Wisconsin. Yes, Wisconsin. That's what's going on in my head when I do that. So I have to say Madison first. So we're going to go back home to Utah, and then we will be flying out to Cleveland, Ohio, and we're going to be at the Original Sewing and Quilting Expo in, I think it's actually in Cleveland itself. So not a suburb. And I'm really excited about that. It'll be the first time that I've gotten to teach at one of those events. And I have a quilt coat class. I've got a serger class where we're going to make a book cover, and we're going to do paper piecing, beginner paper piecing, and we'll go through a bunch of different blocks. So I think I have 6 different blocks that we'll make using different techniques, and the kit comes with the class. You buy the kit, and it comes with all the papers and the fabrics and everything to make those. So that one is a real, just kind of a hands-on learn how to paper piece. The other one is a book cover. Like I said, we'll measure out and make little book covers with the serger, completely with the serger, which is really fun. And then of course the coat. So
got it. So that's in Cleveland.
That's 2 days of classes.
And again, we fly out, which is crazy. We're not going to be in the Jeep for a minute.
Yeah.
I won't even know what to do with myself. And I think they're going to have me do some social media stuff up there in Cleveland as well while we're there. And then we're flying again even further east. So y'all East Coast folks, especially Northeast,
this is it.
Coming basically into the Boston area, New Hampshire, New Hampshire, Pelham, New Hampshire, for the New England Quilt Expo. And this is crazy for me and probably a little bit for Teresa too, but we are the keynote speakers. So who knew? Anyway, I'm not sure. I don't know if we're just gonna ramble for an hour, but anyway, Friday night
we won't just ramble for an hour.
Of the New England Quilt Expo, we're gonna talk all about traveling, teaching, and
collaborating on projects. Yep. I think it's going to be really fun. So I'm looking forward to that. And that one I have classes there. So please come and join me there as well. And I think that one I also have paper piecing. I think there might be a cuddle class. I can't remember. And then there is an elemental coat class. It's really hard to keep it all straight in my head.
Jean, thank you. So Stoughton?
Stoughton? Is that what she says? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's hard to know these things. Like,
unless you've been there or you're a local.
Yeah. And that's how you usually know that they're not locals. They mispronounce things. Yeah. What was I going to say about the New England one? So we're going to be up there. Oh shoot, I had a thought. I can't remember. But yeah, we'll be up there and that's like a 4-day event. So that's like a whole thing and you can sign up for a whole bunch of different classes. So kind of like the original Sewing and Quilting Expo is that there's a bunch of different classes. The New England Quilt Expo is put on by the folks at Bits and Pieces, which were nice enough to be a stop on our tour that we did a couple of
That's
years
right.
ago. They were
Thanks,
great.
Liz. Can't wait
And
to see you again.
yeah, it's going to be awesome. So they invited us to come back and do classes and be the keynote speakers at the expo. So if you are on the East Coast, that is the one time that we've got figured out. As we know from doing the tour a few years ago, it is hard to get shops in the East Coast for some reason. So if you can make it up there, I know a few people have signed up for it already. She said class signups were going well. So I wouldn't wait too long if you want to sign up for it, just because there's a chance that they're going to sell out. Usually the coat class does. So there's a little warning for you. Okay, I think that might have been all of the stuff that we had, right? Because then May,
Okay, there we go.
May we're off basically, except not really. We're going to H&H, which is a trade show.
Right.
So it'll be our first trade show as a little.
We're not off. We're flying back to where our
Chicago.
stuff is, and then
Oh yeah, we'll fly back home.
We're flying back to, at that point we think we will be in Portland, and we're driving our booth, which we have never had a booth before like this. So we're going to be at H&H for the first time, talking to all the quilt shop owners and talking to other vendors and other folks in the industry, and making sure that our relationships are solid.
Yep, exactly.
Spending some time with Andover.
Yep, and I just got some fabric from them that I'm gonna make some samples. So there'll be some Andover coats that are there again. So I did one for Quilt Market last year, and we've got a new pattern coming out that I'm using their fabric for. So that should be really fun. So if you are a shop owner or you know a shop owner, tell them to come see us at H&H. That'll be really fun. So that's our big thing for May. But I'm not doing any teaching in May. It's also my birthday month, so I'm kind of taking it off a little.
And Mother's Day.
And Mother's Day. Yeah. And life is crazy sometimes.
It's a good month for her.
It is. So that'll be a chill month in that we're just doing the trade show and not doing a bunch of teaching. But then in June, we have what?
The Bring Back Summer Maker Retreat.
That's right. It's the Maker Retreat. So that is June 19th through the 22nd.
I can't even remember the title of our own content.
I call it just a Maker Retreat most of the time, but it is this. We called it the Bring On Summer Maker Retreat because June 19th is the first day of summer. So, maybe it was the 20th was the first day of summer.
It's right.
First day of summer is right in the middle of that. So there you go. So I'm excited about that. That one is going to be in Agency, Missouri at a really great retreat center called Art Nest Retreat Center. And I taught there last year with Casey Maker and it was fabulous. So I am really looking forward to that one, and that it's starting to come together. So when we first thought of the idea, we were like, we really want to do a retreat and get people together. And so it'll be really fun. And it was kind of this vague idea. And we had to, we kind of had to like grab the time while we could, because the retreat center fills up pretty fast. And so I wanted to make sure that we had a decent time period to do our retreat. So we grabbed the date without really having a full plan of what it would be. But as it is coming closer and we're working more with vendors, I'm really excited about how it is shaping up. So we'd originally thought I'll do quilt coat stuff with people, and Hawke is going to work with iPad stuff, which we'll talk a little bit more about, and doing color values. So that'll be something that we talk about, where you have the Mirth quilt that we're going to look at
quilt design through the lens of art, without it being super hoity-toity. So we're going to bring this all down and have some great conversations about how to think about your art quilts, how to think about quilting from the point of view of an artist. And obviously, like, there's always a little bit of a conversation about whether or not, are you a crafter or are you an artist? Are you a maker? Or are you an artist? You're both. There's a little bit of that in everybody. And we're going to talk about some ways to think about your designs that you might like the results.
Yeah. So that'll give you just a more kind of planned out thing. So one of my things that I've kind of as a quilter I've done is I will either follow a pattern, use a kit, or just make something up on the fly. And if I'm trying to make it up on the fly, like quickly, I'm usually not very happy with the results. And I feel like a lot of that is, like we've talked about, is understanding value and color and where your eye goes and all this sort of stuff and what you can do with that with some thought beforehand. And it doesn't even have to be 6 months of planning, just taking a minute to kind of sketch it out and understand some of that art lingo.
I want to give you a couple of more tools so that when it comes time to be spontaneous, you feel like you have your guns loaded a little bit, and you're not so worried that you're going to spend a bunch of energy on something that's just going to end up in your UFO pile again.
Yeah, or like I totally understand this is ending up with a quilt top that you are really unhappy with, and then you're unhappy that you spent all of that money and time on something that didn't really work. So preventing that is what we're kind of hoping for here. And I will definitely be paying attention to his classes because I have learned a lot. And I feel like it's something that we have this argument about, I'm not a natural artist. Like I don't understand the concepts really innately. I have to learn it over and over again. And so I've been learning it, but I will definitely be paying attention in the classes. So I'm really excited about the whole educational aspect of it. And because we were like, oh, this could be a fun, like people could learn about quilt codes and people could learn about art and people could learn. And then we started asking people, I started asking like vendor friends if we could get stuff for the giveaway bags. And then one of them asked me if she could participate by having a little Zoom session with people to teach them how to use the product that she had. And I was like, well, that's very smart.
There's great internet at this retreat center, so there's no problem at all with her zooming in and getting to talk to all of the folks that are going to be there.
Right. So
it's not going to be like an infomercial necessarily. I think it's actually going to be like a little
mini
class. And that she's not the only one that we're going to do that with.
Exactly. So then I started asking the other vendors if they would mind coming and just giving a little mini class. Cause I feel like sometimes we go to events and we get swag bags and then we get stuff that I'm like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with that. Thank you. I put it on my shelf. And I don't want that for you guys. I really want for people who come to the retreat to actually get a product that they're going to understand how to use and be able to put into action right then. So you will have items from the swag bag that then you will get to hear about and be able to actually use them at the retreat. So that kind of goes back and forth. So some of the people that we have lined up already, super exciting that this is happening. So we've got Hunter's Design Studio. So Sam Hunter, she's the one she's done a ton of quilt patterns and I've used several of her quilts for quilt coats, but she has a great series of patterns that use a stack of fat quarters. And then she has you cut them cleverly and piece them together that make them very quick little quilts to put together. So that'll be part of the swag bag and she'll teach us how to cut them out in a way that makes for accurate piecing. And that makes me happy because that's always a little bit of a struggle. So Tights is partnering with us. Rustic Horseshoe with stuffed animals. Paradiso Designs is going to do bag making. Magic Quilting and Crafting Spray. They have given us stuff. They're not going to do a little Zoom because really, spritz it on your fabric, let it soak in. Now iron it. That's the whole demonstration.
But it's a great product. They were our neighbors in Kansas City down in the West Bottoms.
Yes, they're awesome.
Sue,
I think is her name.
Okay. Right. Knew it started with an S.
I think it's Sue.
I was going to say it was Shannon.
No.
Okay.
I think it's Sue. It's okay. So that we're going to have that in the giveaway bag. And then Shannon Fabrics sent us stuff that we will work on. And I know I will be there and Mary will be there, who's also a Cuddle ambassador. So we'll get to talk about sewing with Cuddle fabrics, and then we'll have some giveaways from Andover as well. So that's just the start of it. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be really fun, educational, and we're going to walk away with some new skills. So I really wanted it to not be just about one thing. So we're going to talk about art, quilting, and coat making, and bag making.
Mary brought up something.
Mary
brought up something in the comments too. I see this. I'm going to pop this up right here for a second. There we go. And yes, one of the things that we are going to do, bring your iPad, and if you have your iPad pencil, your Apple Pencil, and I am going to do, I would not call it iPad for dummies, but yes, for folks who are a little intimidated by the idea of digital art, Procreate, which is the software, and the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil is a fantastic tool for working on your quilt designs in advance. Especially if you want to pre-visualize colors or if you want to try different layouts, those sorts of things. We're going to go through all of the tools in Procreate, which is a $10 program. It's super affordable. The hardware is the most expensive part. So obviously you need an iPad Pro to run Procreate with the pencil effectively. Bring it. We'll talk all about this as we ramp up towards June, but like make sure you have your right supply list and stuff. But I'm going to teach a class and sort of an ongoing thing, I'm sure, while we're at the retreat. You know, I'll be available. And we're going to do a little drawing here in a minute.
So that'll be a very cool thing, because I think that's like what we're talking about. There's all these tools that are available to us, and sometimes we just don't know how to use them. So I'm really hoping that this retreat gives us 4 days to really kind of intensely learn a bunch of different stuff that we can then take home with us and actually be able to put them to use in future projects, whether they are quilts or bags or clothes or stuffed animals or, you know, anything. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. I think we have a handful of spaces left in the retreat. So if you are interested, you can find out a little bit more about it. We told you more than you can find out on the website probably, at crinkledreams.com. And that's where you can sign up for it. There will be help getting you from the airport out to the retreat center. It's about 45 minutes, not a huge deal. And there are some machines that are available. I think there's 1 or 2 that are left available. If you can bring your own machine, it'll be even better. I just realized we have another bag making pro. I'm not going to say who's coming, but we have another bag making pro who's coming. So that's pretty exciting.
I know who you're talking about. It took me a minute. Okay, so there's a couple of questions in the comments that are interesting. I'm going to divulge Teresa's birthday. It's May 12th. Yeah, sometimes her birthday is actually on Mother's Day,
which is very fun.
You know, little double dip there. Happy birthday! And I see that Denise, your birthday is on the 19th.
She's a week after me.
There you go. Great. Okay, Sandy, you picked up on something that I said, and we're going to talk about it. Yes, I think
the plan is
99% sure that the plan is later this spring, March, we are moving out of St. George and moving to Portland. Teresa's kids and her family are all in the Oregon area. We have a great support system there and a soft landing.
Yeah.
We will be getting a new studio for filming and the long arm and all of that stuff. It's going to be there. That's going to be our new home base starting next year.
Starting later this year.
Yeah, sorry, we're already in 2025. Starting in a couple of months. Anyway, life's crazy. We move a lot. Too much. I'm exhausted about it.
Yeah.
At the same
it's
time,
exhausting to think about.
You know what? I don't want to really experience 6 weeks of 105 degrees again next summer.
It was a lot. So I'm really looking forward to
come visit. It's beautiful here.
It's beautiful. I'm really looking forward to just being back near my grown kids again. So
speaking of which, Audrey, thank you very much for handling the banners and keeping track of all of our stuff on the back end.
Yes, I absolutely appreciate it. So that'll be great, and we'll be able to work as a team in the same area instead of always over Zoom. So I'm kind of excited about that. And I think that it'll be a catalyst to a lot of growth for Crinkle Dreams and for me as a teacher. So looking forward to that. And it means I get to teach on the West Coast some more. So yay. All right. So the other thing, we got through all of the events that are happening, which is a lot. And I didn't say it before, but if you want to follow up on events that are happening, because we also have a trip to England to go to the Quilt Festival of Quilts in Birmingham. That's in July. There's lots of things that are coming. If you are interested in finding out where we're going to be, what I'm teaching, all of that sort of stuff, you can all find that on crinkledreams.com. And if you go to calendar, and just give it a second, it has a long list of all the events that are happening, including all of the lives are in there as well. So lots of things. And then if you subscribe to my newsletter, you'll get updates on those as well. So, all right. So you want to talk about what you have going here?
We could try this. There's still bugs to be worked out in the system, but we do have a new video switching system. I am going to switch us over to that. There. Okay, cool. So we've got a little picture-in-picture, and this is my iPad. You're going to see, boom, I can zoom. This is the new portrait of a new vintage sewing machine that I've been working on. You guys have seen me talk about it a little bit. It's coming along pretty nicely. So,
but now you can see the whole thing so much better.
There's the whole.
Can you take your reference layer off so we can see what happened?
Yeah, I'll do that for now. There we go.
Thanks.
Great.
Because sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. So this is his actual drawing, which is just phenomenal.
We're gonna zoom in here and see what there is to see. there's that. And let me, there. So that's our new video switcher right there. Googly eyes on everything. But this is where I'm working. And now let's switch back and go back to picture in picture. There we go. And I will show you guys a little bit about what my process is. So for example, on this, the needle plate right here, if you zoom in, you can see that it's not as smooth as some of the other areas that I've been working on. So what I'm actually using is my Apple Pencil, and I have it set to erase right now, but it erases in the same texture as the pencil.
So you scratched over it, you scribbled over it with
I'll do
the
this.
pencil?
I'll switch back to the pencil for a second, and you're gonna see where I'm shading. And then what I want to do is try to even that out. So I'm going to switch to the eraser, and I'm going to come in and I'm just going to take the dark spots out of that. So I work back and forth with those two tools. Yeah, you can get all the way down to the pixels here, and you're going to see I set it up so that you can see my cursor a little bit. And I'm just kind of scrubbing out just the dark spots. And what that does is it gives me a nice even gradation over this area eventually after,
hours and hours
of work. So I have that area to work on. This is all just kind of sort of sketched in, and it needs to be refined. But eventually all of those areas are going to look something like that,
which is just insane to me.
I'm really enjoying this. I'm sort of nerding out on all of.
I mean, look at that. Has a tension dial ever looked so beautiful?
And
it's really just phenomenal.
Anyway,
just phenomenal.
We're having fun with this. So with this in mind, there are new products over on, I'm going to go ahead and switch this back to the front facing camera. There we go. Boom.
Yeah.
There are new products available over on over on Crinkle Dreams. There is the original drawing of the featherweight is now available as note cards. There's a metal print, and there are shirts and hoodies with the featherweight on them. And it says Dream Machine.
My Dream Machine.
My Dream Machine across the bottom. And those are super fun. And eventually, once this drawing of the Bernina is done, we'll get those up and available as well.
So I've got the featherweight sweatshirt, right?
It's coming.
It's on order for me. So I'll get to see how that turns out. The Make t-shirts that we got obviously turned out really well. I'm very happy with them. So it's always a little bit scary to, find a new product and hope it works, but these are great. And we've washed them several times and they've been fine. So I will say that the printing is really good on them, and I'm very pleased with the output there. So that's what we're getting. The featherweight is from the same manufacturer, and I will see how those work. I'm excited about it. I will be wearing those to, I'll be wearing that to QuiltCon. So
hey,
it's gonna be awesome.
Your son's in the comments.
I know.
You got the whole fam family.
It's right. I love it. I love it. So thank you. Somebody else said something. Oh, Mary. That's what she said. I happen to know a packing pro. Mary had to help me move from the last place because I just had heart surgery before we moved, and so she came and did a whole lot of packing for me. And Mary, we might bring you to St. George again because you packed up my fabric like a pro. It was great. So thanks. I appreciate it. We're looking forward to figuring out a new thing, and not everything is, quite settled yet, but this is where we're looking. The goal is to get to Portland and be near my family again. Even though my kids are grown, I love them lots and want to be with them.
Good.
I really do. So, all right. Anything else we needed to talk about? I can't remember.
I think that for Sundays in the studio, I think that we're good. I mean, we're at 50 minutes. It's all good.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking.
We really appreciate you all being here for this.
Yeah, thanks for coming along on the ride with us. Really, it's been great. I mean, if you've been watching us for a while, and a lot of these names are very familiar, that the last couple of years have been a lot of a lot.
It's a wild rumpus.
It's a wild rumpus, and the last 6 months especially have been a little crazy. So I'm very, very grateful to have you guys here and kind of following along with us and cheering us on. And really, it's been great to kind of get to know everybody, and especially for those who are in the dream team. I feel like we're becoming even more of like this little tight-knit sewing family, and I really love it. So thanks for being a part of that. It means a lot to me. So we will be back on Wednesday.
That's right.
Okay, we'll be back on Wednesday for Make, and we're going to talk all about paper piecing, and including this crazy thing on how to fix it. So if there's no questions,
I think we've
good.
got everybody covered.
Okay.
Appreciate you guys asking the deep questions.
Yeah.
Getting us to divulge secrets.
Yeah. And Wednesday,
plans.
and Wednesday you can ask all the hard questions about foundation paper piecing, and I'll answer them. So, all right, thank you. Until then, until next month, we'll be back for Sunday in the studio.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about that. We'll do it from Casey Maker.
Yes. Yeah,
So
we will be
fun.
on the road again.
Yeah, on the road again. All right, we'll see you later, guys. Thanks so much.